Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. So from here, I will be going with you through primary and secondary sources of information or various sources where you can get your information, as there are two fundamental types of material used in research across various disciplines. Like for before going through that, I have to explain to you what a primary sources is. So primary sources of information, these are original first-hand account or evidence directly related to the topic of study, and these sources have not been altered or interpreted or analyzed by others. So basically, these sources has many examples as indicated there, like diary books, letters, speeches, interview, original research study, airfac, photography, government document, autobiography, eyewitness account, and in historical record. So this is the example of a primary sources of information where you can get your source of source of information where you can get your sources of information, basically, and a primary source of information. Leaving that one, also seeing the important by discipline, like history. Primary sources as crucial in historical research, as they provide direct insight into past events, culture, and people. So basically, these primary resources, it bring your insight into past events, as mentioned, culture and people, living that one, literature. So a primary source of information, like literacy scholar use primary sources such as original text, manuscript, a letter to analyze and interpret the work of author. So basically, this also helps literacy is a scholar to perform in their academic journey. Leaving that one, also going to science. In scientific research, primary sources including original research article, experiment, observational data, and a lab report. And basically, these sources are essential for evaluating the scientific theory, conducting method analysis, and advancing the knowledge in various scientific fields. So basically, leaving that one, also before I go to secondary sources of information, you have to know that this information as these primary sources of information has its advantages, and one of the important of primary sources to information provide direct evidence about a topic. So leaving that point, also it provide direct or serve as the foundation for research or analysis, and also allow researcher to interpret raw data, personal account without intermediary influence. So these are the important and the primary resources. So leaving that one, going to secondary sources of information, and these secondary sources of information analyze, interpret, or comment on primary sources of information. They are created after the event or time period and a study, and often involves synthesis, analysis, and evaluation of primary material, basically, which mean summarize the information for primary resources. And the example, and this is books, scholarly article, review article, textbook, biography, documentary, encyclopedias, and a literature review. So this is where you can get secondary source of information from. Basically, the important by discipline is historical. Secondary sources provide historian with critical analysis, interpretation, and debate surrounding historical events. So historians use secondary sources to evaluate different perspectives, theory, and methodologies in historical scholarship. So, and one of it, and over literacy a critic rely on secondary sources of information such as critical essay, book review, leaving that one also. Science, secondary sources is a science including the review article, textbook, and a scientific journal that summarize and interpret primary research findings. Basically, they play a crucial role in disseminating scientific knowledge, educating students, providing content for further research. So, leaving that one also, taking it as it also as important. I could say the vital for secondary sources of information is provide contact interpretation and analyze which have explained the significance of primary resources. So that is one of the point and important of a secondary source of information, and one of it is make primary information more accessible to a wide audience. So and the last point, and the last point that I could give on a primary sources of a secondary sources of information, it offer a broader perspective or critical that can lead to deeper understanding. So this is what is concerning secondary source of information as the important is concerned. So ladies and gentlemen, I beg to stop here. Let me see you again in my next video. Thanks.